Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 360 on History podcast. Please check out our website, 360onhistory.com, our YouTube channel, and all our social media. Today, we are going to meet the first ever woman to swim across the English Channel. Her name was Gertrude Caroline Ederle, born on October 23, 1905. She was an American competition swimmer as well as an Olympic champion and world record holder in 5 events. As if all of that wasn't enough, she also became the first woman to swim across the English Channel on August 6, 1926. Before her, only 5 men had completed the swim across the channel, and the best time of 16 hours 33 minutes was achieved by Enrique Terabocci. Gertrude grew up in Manhattan. She was the daughter of a butcher and learned to swim in Highlands, New Jersey. She joined the Women's Swimming Association at the age of 12 and continued to learn here. This is where she started her stellar career, becoming the first record holder in the 880-yard freestyle, the youngest world record holder in swimming. She subsequently set 8 more world records, 7 of which were in 1922 at Brighton Beach. From 1921 to 1925, Ederle held 29 US national and world records. It is no wonder that, among other nicknames, the press sometimes called her Queen of the Waves. She won a gold medal at the 1924 Summer Olympics in Paris, in which she participated as a member of the US team in the 100-meter freestyle relay. The whole team was placed first and set a new world record. Individually, Gertrude received bronze medals in the women's 100-meter freestyle and women's 400-meter freestyle races. This highly acclaimed and successful US Olympic team had its own ticker tape parade in 1924. After the Olympics, Gertrude turned professional in 1925, swimming the 22 miles from Battery Park to Sandy Hook in 7 hours and 11 minutes. This was another record and remained so for 81 years before being broken by Australian swimmer Tammy Van Weiss. Her nephew Bob later described his aunt's swim as a midnight frolic and a warm-up for her later swim across the English Channel, which was probably her crowning achievement, not least because no woman had done it before. No one thought that a woman would be able to make the difficult crossing. In fact, obstacles were put in her way to stop her from doing so. She started in 1925 when the Women's Swimming Association sponsored her and Helen Wainwright for an attempt at swimming across the English Channel. Ederle decided to go to France on her own when Wainwright cancelled due to an injury. There, Gertrude trained with Jabez Wolfe, who had attempted the channel crossing 22 times. Gertrude made her first attempt at the English Channel swim on August 18, 1925, but was disqualified when her coach, Wolfe, had her recovered from the water. Ederle bitterly disagreed with this decision, and there was rampant speculation that he had sabotaged her because he did not want her to succeed. She did not let this stand in her way, however, and returned to New York to train with Bill Burgess, another successful channel swimmer. By this time, she had received contracts from both the New York Daily News and Chicago Tribune, which provided her with a salary and paid her expenses. Gertrude was now even more determined to swim across the English Channel, and approximately 1 year after her first attempt, she was successful. Starting in France at 7:08 a.m. on August 6, 1926, this intrepid woman came ashore at Kingsdown, Kent, 14 hours and 34 minutes later. There, she was met by a British immigration officer requesting a passport from, quote, the bleary-eyed, waterlogged teenager. Gertrude had beaten the previous record of 16 hours 33 minutes, a record set by a man. Her record stood until Florence Chadwick swam the channel in 1950 in 13 hours and 23 minutes. When she returned home, this time Gertrude Ederle was greeted with her own ticker tape parade in Manhattan, with more than 2 million people thronging the parade route. After this feat, Gertrude would later perform in theatre, tour the vaudeville circuit, and even act in her own movie, playing herself in Swim Girl Swim. She met President Coolidge and had a song and a dance step named for her. Tragically, she fell down the steps of her apartment building in 1933, which twisted her spine and left her bedridden for several years. She eventually recovered enough to appear in the 1939 New York World's Fair. Ederle had experienced poor hearing from childhood due to a bout of measles and was nearly completely deaf by the 1940s. Beyond her vaudeville career, she dedicated time to teaching swimming to deaf children. Ederle never married and by 2001 lived in a nursing home. She passed away on November 30th, 2003 in New Jersey at the age of 98 and was laid to rest in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, New York City. Gertrude was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame as an honor swimmer in 1965 and then was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 2003. An annual swim from New York City's Battery Park to Sandy Hook, New Jersey is called the Ederle Swim in her memory and follows the course she swam. Perhaps today we might not think much about women swimming across the channel. But when Gertrude did this, it certainly was not an easy task. It's still not today, but back then it was even worse. At least for women. Women were considered physically and mentally weak, and she would have had to bend over backwards to even be allowed to undertake this feat. And let's not forget the speculations that her attempt was being sabotaged as well. I have no doubt that Gertrude Ederle not only put her life and limb at risk by swimming the English Channel, she also must have faced interminable difficulties in even attempting to do so. She said, quote, "People said women couldn't swim the channel, but I proved they could." Unquote. Gertrude Ederle did not just break the glass ceiling, she shattered it completely, which makes her a fantastic woman indeed. Thank you for joining me on 360 on History podcast, and I will see you again next time.